Hello children, you all are welcome to Chill Out Zonal English channel. Today we are going to talk about the drama. First we will talk First we will talk about the structure of drama. Here our competency is competency 5 and competency level is 5.6, extract the general idea of a text. So let's see what is a drama. Dramas, or we call plays, the word drama comes from the Greek word dran. Dran means to act or to perform. So dramas are written to be performed, but we can perform or we can read a drama. According to Aristotle, it is an imitation of action. So actions tell us a story, and we need actors and actresses to represent actions and reactions in a drama. Actors represent actions and reactions. So their actions and reactions create relationships. And these actions and reactions create a conflict in a drama. It creates curiosity in the audience. So in short, what we do in a drama, we can discuss like that. So here, acting of the players, it is very important to understand a drama. And we need some terms to understand a drama. Let's see what they are. Terms used in a drama. There is a plot in a drama. Plot means the story. There we have to use the setting, the place, the time of the plot. Sometimes we can talk about the social setting and the geographical setting. And then we have the theme. Theme is the main idea of the drama. There is a message, and in short, it is the central insight of the drama. Then we have cast. Cast means actors and actresses in a drama. The characters, in other words, we can say characters, they do and talk. They talk and they do things. They are the protagonist. Protagonist is the main character, or we can call him hero. Most probably, the main character, the protagonist, is a good person. He is brave. There he wins our hearts. If he is good, we like him. But there are protagonists, but they are not good characters. Maybe they are evil characters. There they can't win our heart. Antagonist, most probably antagonist opposes the hero. He is the villain, and both protagonist and antagonist help to move the drama. Then we have dialogues. Dialogues are conversations between two or more. But monologue is a different thing. Actor or actress speaks to himself or herself. They are the audience can identify his characteristics. Soliloquy is different. There the actor or actress speaks to the audience. Now in Shakespearean dramas, there was a separate place called apron, and when the actor or actresses go there, when they start talking, standing in the apron, everybody knows that it is a soliloquy. But modern drama, we don't have that part in the modern stage especially. So it is different from the Shakespearean theatre. And then we have tragedy. Now, tragedy, we have a sad ending. The hero can't win. An example, Othello. Shakespeare's Othello is a tragedy. Othello is a general of the army. But at the end of the drama, we feel that he was unable to win. Comedy is different. The end is happy. Mostly the comedies have common end. A marriage or a dance. That is how the dramatist is going to end the drama. Example, we can take A Midsummer Night's Dream by Shakespeare. And we have tragicomedy, mixture of tragedy and comedy. The Merchant of Venice is a good example. There we have the mixture of two divisions, that means from tragedy and comedy. The protagonist, one protagonist ends happily and the other protagonist is suffering in a tragic comedy. Then we have visual elements of a drama. What are visual elements? So now to perform a drama, we need a stage. Plays are enacted on the stage, and we can have an open stage. That means open on three sides. We call it arena. And there is another kind of stage, the theater in the round. Audience sits around and actors perform on a platform. And modern stage, our stage, we have three walls. That means three sides are covered. There is a curtain and audience sits in the open side. That is the modern theater. The set. The set is, the stage is prepared for a specific scene called, we call that a set. The stage is prepared for a specific scene and we call it the set. And it provides information of the social background of the play. Then we have props. What are props? They are physical objects and they help us to understand the seasons. Example, if there is a pistol, we can understand that there is violence. If there is a flower vase, so it signifies that it is an inside of a house, like that. And we have symbols. Symbols are used for indirect suggestion of ideas. So those symbols enrich the dramatic element of the play. And another very important thing is costumes. It is an important part, and costumes show the social positions of the characters. Example, if he is a king, he should wear the costume of a king. He can't have a costume of a slave, like that. Now we discussed what is a drama. Then we discussed the terms and the visual elements. And now we are going to move on to the structure of drama. The structure of drama. It is very important to learn. Yes, exposition. Now we have an exposition in the drama, that is the opening. In other words, the introduction of the drama. And this introduces the protagonist and the antagonist, and also the main idea of the drama. So we call it exposition, and then we have the conflict, or we can call it complication. And in simple, the conflict is the lack of agreement. There are some kind of disturbance is established. So why? It is to develop the plot. There the audience is attentive and curiosity is filled in the minds of the audience, and interest of the play is growing. Then we have rise in action. Rise in action is the basic conflict, and it is developed by introducing secondary conflicts. So there are the things are happening to push the conflict to a higher level. Now we have a conflict, and then in the rise in action, the conflict is developed by giving secondary conflicts, and rise in actions push the play to the conflict. The climax. What is the climax? The climax is the highest level of the story. After the climax, the story turns. In a comedy, the protagonist is going to achieve his goal. But in a tragedy, it is a bad turn, especially the bad turn for the protagonist. Then we have fall in action. Now, when we reach this stage, the audience has suspense. The conflict is revealed here. Protagonist either wins or defeats, but the final outcome is in doubt. That is the fall in action. And when we move on to the resolution, that is the end of the drama, the final stage we can say, there the problem is solved. In a comedy, story ends happily because all the problems are solved in a good way. But in a tragedy, social order fails there, and the result is disorder and death. Okay, now I think you have got an idea about the structure of drama, and now we will move on to our uh, diagram here. Exposition. We have exposition. This is the introduction. Then we have the conflict. This is the problem. Then it goes up to the climax. Here in this part, we have the secondary conflicts. And things are happening. And those happenings lead us to the climax. This is the highest point. Then in the fall in action, we have the suspense. The conflict is revealed, what will happen? And in the resolution, what will happen? The problem is solved. So that is how we can explain the diagram. And now we will move on to our hero, Anton Chekhov. I think you know about him. He is a greatest dramatist, a Russian dramatist, a playwright and an author, and a physician. And he was born in 1860, and he was a son of a grocer and a grandson of a serf. So his period, he died in 1904. So his period is late 19th century and early 20th century. So he lived during these two centuries, where we can find a change in Russian socio-economic system. He practiced as a doctor throughout his life, and then he started his writing, his literary works. So that is why he once said, medicine is my lawful wife and literature is my mistress. That is how he introduced himself. So he is a very good writer. And if we talk about his first play, it was Ivano in 1887, and his second play was Wood Demon, and his famous plays The Seagull and The Cherry Orchard. So it was The Cherry Orchard was his last play in 1904, and here he has described this social change deeply. And his writing style, we can say, he wrote about ordinary people and ordinary events and relationships of people. And his characters are found in sometimes from small villages or in landlord states. So that is how he has selected his characters. So we can say his our drama, The Bear by Anton Chekhov, and it was translated by Julius West, and it is a well-made play. A well-made play, that means he follows a chronological pattern in this drama, matching the well-made concept in the 19th century theatre. There he keeps his audience in a natural social setting. So what is a well-made play? Actually, it is a dramatic genre from 19th century theatre, and he talked about this well-made play in his play The Bear. So let's discuss what is a well-made play. In a well-made play, we have that means neatness of play. We have neatness of play. Actually, a well-made play aims at neatness in the plot. So plot contains secrets known to audience. Now, plot is there, it is well arranged, neatness is there, and there are secrets. Then we have careful attention. That means careful attention is given to the exposition of the play. After that, we have logical reversals. There, in logical reversals, the hero has a series of success and failures, and especially with the antagonist. But when it comes to the discovery scenes, there the antagonist learns fact, especially the more facts that hurt the protagonist. And later the protagonist learns that the antagonist has such knowledge. So we have logical events, then we have discovery scenes, and then suspense. Suspense is curiosity, and it is created in a well-made play. And the final thing, resolution. Resolution is believable and logical in a well-made play. Most probably happy ending is there. And Anton Chekhov, our writer, he followed this structure in his plays. And in his play, The Bear, he brings some modifications to this well-made concept. And it is used in his own style. Now, when we look at the plot in the drama The Bear, we see Popova's mourning at the beginning of the play. Now, this is the exposition. Now, we have a neat plot here, and exposition is very carefully brought out. And more attention is given. Now, Popova is mourning after her husband's death. and she takes a long period for that. But it changes after the arrival of Smirnov. So what happens there? There the playwright reveals the Popova's sad mind. And she is sad. Why? Because of her unfaithful husband's secrets. And there she knows the financial matters, his secrets, his financial matters. And we find Popova's inability to use a gun. And all these situations help Smirnov to dominate the play. Now, we have the morning period of Popova at the beginning. Then it changes after the arrival of Smirnov. And there we find some uh, secrets of Nikolai, that means Popova's husband. And then we find Popova's inability to use a gun. And all these help Smirnov to dominate the play. These incidents also help to continue the logical reversal of the play. Logical reversals of the play. Then we understand the facts about both protagonist and antagonist. Both Popova and Smirnov, they belong to the landowning class. Popova is beautiful, we know. Her devotion to her late husband is clear. And Smirnov has a good annual income, we find that. And he is a retired lieutenant. He has all the physical strength. And his identity is revealed later. We see these discovery scenes and how they help to learn the facts about the antagonist and the protagonist. So now I am giving you the concept of the well-made play here. And then we have fourth one, suspense. Suspense is created in the audience. Smirnov wants to stay in Popova's house until the loan is settled. Then he changes his idea to win her heart. Why? On the basis of her social status. Now he understands now her class. Then he changes his mind and he demands money. But Popova agrees to pay, but he stays there because of his infatuation with her. He was starting to love her. She describes her relationship with her late husband. So why? To win his sympathy. She hates Smirnov in a way, but she describes all the secrets in her life to him. That is why we have suspense here. So why does she reveal all these secrets? Then the playwright wants to increase the suspense. That is what the playwright has done here. And the resolution. So the last part of the play, it is believable and logical. Popova accepts Smirnov as a would-be husband. And Smirnov does not have a family of his own, we know that. And she is also a lonely woman, husband has died. They are of the same class. And they belong to the 19th century Russian society. They have some values there. They can adjust themselves to each other without much difficulty. That is what the end of the play says. So by carefully looking at these points, we can say that this play follows the structure of a well-made play, but in his own style. Now, we have to talk about the era of the drama. Now, before going into the drama in detail, now we can find the setting, that means social setting especially. This is the 19th century Russia before Russian Revolution. Now, this drama has the very important social setting, and this is the 19th century social setting. Now, landlords are there, so they enjoy life. You can see here in these pictures how, and we can compare the serfs. So, they are working here, they are giving labor. So, you can very clearly identify these things from these pictures. So 19th century Russia before 1917 Russian Revolution. During this time, there was the feudal social system. The most powerful force was the landlords. They had large areas of land and they enjoyed life and they had hundreds of workers and we call them serfs. We call them serfs or slaves, we can say. The landlords were selfish and they were egocentric. There, our writer Anton Chekhov highlights this feudal system of the 19th century. They suppressed the underprivileged. In such a social atmosphere, Chekhov became a keen observer. He considered the Russian landlords and their tricks and how they tried to preserve certain values of their class. And these people value elements of their aristocratic social setting. And they had that background. And in feudal society, now when we take feudal society and serfdom, we can say feudal society. There, the landlords provided land to tenants for their loyalty and service. And the landowners or landlords, they had power, they were powerful. And the workers had to work. And they had to serve the landlords. These landlords had so many workers. They lived in their lord's lands. The workers gave their labor and the landlord supplied land for them. So, most of the rural peasants living under serfdom. What is serfdom? Serf means serfs are agricultural laborers. That means they give feudal labor. And serfdom is the state of being a serf. They lived under serfdom, and we can call this order, this is the old order. In other words, it is the feudalism. There the landlords had wealth, luxury, land ownership, estates, and everything. This is the old order of feudalism. And after this period, a new era, a new order was established. So this new order was capitalism, we can say. Money became more powerful. New order, capitalistic society, we can say. And what was the result? Money became more important than land. And during this period, from people changed from feudalism to capitalism. And the result was the creating a business world. Now we have a business world in Russia. Then, because of this, new merchant class came and businessmen became powerful. For an example, we can say the cherry orchard by the same writer. There the writer wanted to show us this transitory period. That means the owner of the land, that means the owner of the cherry orchard, Madame Ranavskaya, she sold the land to one of her servants. She was romanticizing the land while the servant was going to cut all the cherry trees. So the new generation, so new business people, they didn't have any aesthetic value in that land. The landlord, Mrs. Ranavaskaya, she was having that aesthetic value, but the new owner, he didn't have any aesthetic value. He had only the materialistic value. That is why he cut all the cherry trees. So this is very important because money became the important factor in this new order. There we can see this is a period of transition, and it reflects the period from old order to new order. Even in our Sinhala literature, Puta, we have Gamperaliya by Martin Vikramasinghe. There we can have Nanda and Piyal. They also belong to these two, not the serfdom. Piyal doesn't belong to the serfdom, but two classes are there. Now, Nanda belongs to the landed gentry as a landlord, but Piyal is not that class. But when he earns money, when he earned money, he became he became the most important person. Now, in his trilogy, he has brought out this system change. Now, when we take our drama, Popova, that means Popova belongs to the landowning class. She is a landowning widow. She is beautiful, we know, and she has dimples on her cheeks. Many people think dimples on the cheeks to be a sign of beauty. And there the playwright mentioned it to add a romantic value to her personality. And she is mourning. Her eyes are fixed on a photograph of her late husband. And she says, I shall never go out. Why should I? This is her response. There we see Popova as an arrogant lady, arrogant landowning lady. She stays at home after her husband's death. She has no life, she says, without him. Here Chekhov reveals a position of a woman in a male-dominant society. Now, at that period, in Russia, we had that society, a male-dominant society. He focuses the concept of fidelity here. According to Popova, it is the tradition of their society. What society? That means landowning society. So what is fidelity? Fidelity is faithfulness to husband or wife. Now she wanted to preserve that tradition after her husband's death. She should prove her fidelity. That is what she always tried to do. Popova wants to protect that tradition. Why? Because she is to, her wish was to have an isolated life in her self-made citadel in her chastity. So, but we have Luca with her. He is a member of peasant class, but Luca doesn't approve that. As a young and beautiful woman, she must seek pleasure. And he suggests to go and meet the military people. And he says, can't go on weeping and wearing mourning forever. And she wants Luca never to talk about the military people or about her enjoyment. That is what she says. She wants him. She reminds her husband's elegant figure there on horseback. There, Popova draws up a visual image of her late husband as a rider. There, there we can see the Russian landowning class women through her and their behavior also. There she wanted to they give more weight to the outward appearance, not to their commitment. also she says, Toby, Toby, tell them to give him an extra feed of oats. So what is her sudden decision here? To give Toby an extra feed of, that shows her pride. And she wanted to tell her late husband's taste for horses, but not with love and sympathy towards Toby. She wanted to show her class through her instructions for Luca to feed Toby. It is fed as a symbol of status. But when Smirnov appears, what happens? Now he comes to the dining room and she doesn't wish to see him as she is mourning. He has come to collect 1,200 rubles. And he had lent to Nikolai, Popova's husband. And there we see a business transaction. Because Nikolai used to buy oats, we know Smirnov is a landowner, a retired lieutenant of army, and he is a businessman too. There the playwright brings what? A reflection of change in old order into new. In other words, feudalism to capitalism. And he proudly says here, I am a landowner of respectable character, have an income of 10,000 a year, and I own some fine horses. So he says he is boasting here. As a man of wealth, power, and prestige. At the same time, he insults the womankind. There, Anton Chekhov brings the behavior of landlords. Landlords also had to engage in business in this transitory period. Why? They wanted to earn more because they spend luxurious lives. They wanted more money. So because of these business deals, the landlords lost their respect. And here also he comes to collect money. And we have a picture of a money lender here. Picture of a money lender. He is running behind his customers to collect their debts. And money is important in their lives. So there we can take Smirnov as a member of both systems. That means he is an agent of old order and new order. He used to sell oats to Popova's husband. And they wanted money. And even Popova's husband is a landowner. Though Popova laments here as a tradition, she remembers the behavior of her husband and how he was rude to her. He was unfaithful. He was selfish, ungrateful, disloyal. And his unofficial love letters made her sad. And once she says, he used to leave me alone for weeks and make love to the other women. But she declares her love. I loved him passionately. And she remembers his love letters. So this shows his infidelity. He was not faithful to Popova. So this can be taken as the quality of all landlords at that time. Even Smirnov belongs to that class. The women did not have freedom. They had limited contacts. And those limited contacts are very rare because in their society, fidelity is highly valued. Women are expected to be virtuous. At the same time, the playwright brings Smirnov's love affairs. When Popova reminds the love letters of her own husband, Smirnov talks about his love affairs. I've refused 12 women and 9 have refused me. Smirnov boasting here. He's boasting. And he shows his power to enjoy the life. There he establishes the idea that he has associated a large number of women, especially upper class fashionable women in 19th century. So those are the examples that we can take to highlight their society. That means 19th century landowning society. And we have guns and pistols. And that is another feature in their society. Here Popova is ready to shoot him but doesn't know how to shoot. Actually, it is quite funny. And we will talk about those humorous scenes later. And another example of their society is working class people. Now we can take Luca here. They were not educated, they were illiterate people. And they spent their whole life as workers. And they were exploited by the society, by the landowning society, we can say. So the playwright brings the audience where to back to the landlord society, or we can say to the feudal system in Russia, especially before their revolution, and the change in society in the transitory period. His period helped him a lot to bring out the Russian society from feudalism to capitalism. So I think you have got a clear idea about this. And we will next talk about the characters in our next lesson. Yes, Pute, I think you all are keeping well. And may God bless you. And we will meet in another session. Thank you all.